Round 1, and we have a very nice looking keep here. There's really nothing better than the turn 1 Inciter for an aggro deck. It really gets the ball rolling early, which is nice. So let's just get that dude down. And it's nice to see the Sparring Mummy with the True Heart Twins. So black-white, I'm presuming a zombie build. Yes, Miasmic Mummy. So let's discard... It's actually kind of interesting, isn't it? Maybe the Sparring Mummy can get discarded here. I actually like it, but I think we might need our lands in case we don't draw more. And True Heart Twins is like one of our more premium cards, so I would prefer to not get rid of that. Let's play the Paramount here and give it haste, which is also fine. I don't mind trading this off here. Okay. I find that Miasmic Mummy tends to hurt the player that plays it more than the other player. It's not obviously not always the case if your opponent has one card remaining, but it's just from my experience kind of what I've found. What do you do again? Gain life equal to its power. That's pretty good. And it has Eternalize for 4. Wow, that's pretty nice. So let's just play the Entangler here, and we can exert it. This is just an uncommon too. It's pretty impressive. Card's pretty powerful. Life gain plus come back and gain 4, and it's uncommon. And it eternalizes for 4? Oh, discard a card. Okay. Okay. That makes more sense. Target opponent reveals his or her hand, choose non-land. Okay, so I assume they're going to get rid of our twins, but maybe they get rid of a removal spell. I guess I don't know. I mean, the twins are the best card in my hand, and I guess Sandblast is something that you can, in theory, sort of play around. I don't think that's the choice I would have made, but that's okay. So let's see if we can't top deck one of our 2 or 3 drops here. We have quite a few. That's a pretty excellent one to get. So we're just going to haste it up and get in there. So now we have 2 exert guys on the board, which is really nice. So we don't no need to exert here. And once we're in True Heart Twin territory, we are just ripping our opponent apart. Let's see if they are splashing. They are. Okay. Very interesting. I mean, when we get true, I think I can't even imagine how much damage we're going to deal. They just get drained for 3. If we exert all 3, they drain 3, and that's +3/+0 to each of our creatures. That's just, that is nasty. Very, very nasty. Still attacking, fascinatingly. So I imagine a Sandblast is coming, presumably. Maybe not. Okay. Sure. We're doing good. So killing that guy. Okay. I guess we'll lose 3. So I think I am actually going to abrade the Sun Scourge champion. They don't have double white, and if I draw the land, I can probably just kill them then. Maybe not. Well, no, I think I can, actually. So we're going to abrade this guy. And then we untap and draw land, maybe? Sandblast, okay. So we'll get him for 3. Okay, so they did get the double white, which means they can discard and get their dude back. But they don't. Interesting. Okay, so we can play the twins now. Give it haste. And we can actually just attack with the twins here. Although we can double exert, and then they just block here and trade, but we get in for 6, take them to 1. But then they gain 4 when they discard. So if I attack for 4, I don't really want to trade my Entangler off for the Scrounger. Could also just leave the twins back. No, I think, okay, here's what we do. We're actually just going to attack. So my thinking is, because next turn, this actually makes sense to me. So we're going to deal 4. We're going to take them to 3. They can attack with the Scrounger of Souls and get their champion back, but our Inciter is going to get double pumped, and we have the Sandblast for their 4/4 as well. So I think we're getting lethal in here. Maybe not, actually. I guess they go to 10. We're going to deal... I guess it depends on how they block, but we're going to deal a lot of damage back. Okay, that makes things slightly more difficult, unfortunately. We still actually... Yeah, we still get the True Heart Twins exert effect, so don't forget that. Which means when we exert this, we're going to attack for 6. Which is lethal. Which is, in fact, lethal. So that's relevant, to say the least. And then lethal sting. Okay. Fair enough. Well, all the Sandblasts, I guess. Okay. A little surprised they haven't gotten their champion back yet. Okay, Crop Mate, which can get back Miasmic Mummy. Alright. That's a little bit of a problem. Let's cycle this. Another land, okay. So do I want to Sandblast the Crop Mate, but then I can't really deal with the 4/4. But this being able to bring back the Miasmic Mummy could be a problem. Getting 1 damage in could definitely be useful if I top deck a... If they block, do I want to Sandblast this? Is kind of the question. I guess what's... 4/4 is much more debilitating than the 3-2, but unfortunately I can't really afford to take a bunch of hits from the 3-2 either. I think we do attack and we kind of leave it up to them what they're going to do. Yeah, dealing with this, I almost feel like they don't remember they have it though. I honestly I don't know. So definitely sandbagging the land. Although we will need that 6th land if we draw the Inferno Jet. No exert. I think we're taking 3 here. Okay. Well, unfortunately, that worked out a lot worse for us. Okay. Looks like we may need to sandblast Supply Caravan to stay alive. And then, I guess, sack the compulsory. Well, we have Fling, though. Okay. Then we probably don't want to. Okay, so they did remember they had the Sunscourge Champion. They just happen to have a lot of good spells, I imagine. So this is going to be pretty difficult to win. And they get the mummy back, making us discard. So that's pretty harsh. So I guess the play is sandblast the Supply Caravan. But I don't know what we're going to do against the 4/4. Basically, I think we just lost because we didn't... I don't know actually why we lost. It felt like we were in a commanding lead. I'm not sure why we started doing so poorly. Scrapper is fantastic. But I believe it's too late. If that had come last turn, it would have been so much better. Okay, so we play Scrapper and pass. And then we have to chump block the Sunscourge Champion with our Inciter. I guess we don't have to. Oh, geez. It was a good top deck. Okay. Well, that's unfortunately too costly to recover from. Well, I mean, we're not dead, I guess, but we're going to be. Geez. I really felt like we were dominating too. Not so much, though. So I do that, and then I sack that, and we still die. Okay. Rough. This really seems like a match we should be able to win quite easily, honestly. Our deck is phenomenal. We have a low curve. Our creatures outmatch their creatures. I think we just have to draw better. We need to draw more spells than lands, because I think we can outrace a lot of these cards. So, yeah, we draw better, and I feel like, although it really didn't seem like we drew bad, I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know how we lost that. I guess we just lost it because that 2/3 that gains 2 life and then gains 4 more life is an absolutely busted seeming uncommon, but maybe it's not as good as I think it is. Alright, this hand is good. Okay, the pyramid. Nice. Get in for 2 and get our initiate down. I mean, we can cycle the attendant. It lets us, we can still bring it back with Embalm. We don't get the double usage out of it, but I almost feel like an extra card plus the Embalm to pump this is possibly better. They probably block our Initiate here, so I'm pretty tempted to just, yeah, now I'm just gonna abrade this. Actually, you know what? I am gonna cycle the Attendant now. The funny thing is I can abrade the Pyramid, but I think we actually want to just get some damage through here. So let's just get through for 5, and then next turn with the True Heart Twins, that's pretty good. That's certainly more difficult to deal with. We're not really giving them a chance to use the Pyramid either, which, like I was saying, I actually think Pyramid against our type of deck is going to end up being worse. So let's see if they, I'm curious what they do here. Okay, let's just bash. Well, I can play the, no, let's just attack, because I want to play Twins. And they probably block the Initiate now. No? Okay. Well, that's fine. Let's play Twins then. So I suppose they can exert Get Back Eternal and do a Lethal Sting, but I still think we're still going to end up dealing quite a bit of damage. Okay. So they still can now take out 2 of our creatures, which is pretty effective, actually. I do think that we take this. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty nasty. Oops. Play this guy. We're 1 mana short of just doing the real nuts here, but that's okay. Because we could actually kill them if we had another land, because this comes back as a zombie. But that's alright. We're still doing very good, obviously. Take them to 1 here. And then have a Puncturing Blow for whatever we have to deal with. Okay. So they're still very dead. We'll Puncturing Blow the Supply Caravan, and they only have 2 blockers for our 3 attackers. Oh, I could Fling them, but I would actually much rather them not know about Fling. I mean, I can still cast Fling anyway, so it doesn't matter. But they already know about maybe they don't know about Puncturing Blow, I guess. But all right, so that's kind of much more how I would expect this match to play out, because, like I said, Sunset Pyramid may be a good card against the mid-range decks, but it really should not shine against us. But their deck looks fine. Like, I don't think Supply Caravan is a particularly good card. Kenra Eternal is certainly playable, not super exciting. Cropmate's good. They have some pretty good cards in there, but overall I feel like our overall card quality is better than theirs. So I could do the Forsake for their artifact, but I don't think it's worth it. But this also does deal with Compulsory Rest. That's actually that actually makes me kind of want to play it over maybe a Sandblast. Okay, we'll allow it. We still have plenty of removal, and Sandblast is probably our worst one. I still think Fling is going to be pretty awesome for us, since we're trying to be aggressive, and you can just easily end up doing 2 mana for 4 or 5 damage, especially since they're playing the Compulsory Rest. Alright, this seems like we have to mulligan. I guess we go to 5, unfortunately. Okay, this one will keep. We're going to bottom that. Okay. I think we're just going to abrade that, even though abrade does technically deal with, well, that's interesting. Guess I can exert now. Okay. We're actually changing plans here. We're going to exert. And then we're going to play the entangler. This way, if they don't exert, I can offer the trade with my entangler for their avenger, which is reasonable. They do get nice lethal sting value off that fan bear, unfortunately, but so they did exert, which is fine. It's in our benefit, I think, to race. Okay. So now they're just going to keep our entangler locked down, which I guess is not great, but acceptable. And we'll decide what we want to do on their turn. Okay, so we can abrade the Avenger. Unfortunately, we just have no way to deal with this now, do we? I guess we have the Sandblast. So I think that we actually abrade this so they don't get the Warrior, which I'm not in love with. If we top deck a Sandblast, we're looking pretty good. If we don't, we gotta chill for a while. But I think mulling to 5 is, if we lose, I think it's unfortunately that's the cause. So I guess we cycle this because we can't play it. Yeah, that's a good draw. Okay, that's very good. That lets us do some work soon here. We're gonna open fire the fan bearer, presumably. We'll see. Crop mate. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to open fire that instead. Which is not great. Okay. So we'll open fire the crop mate. Can't let them get their guys back. Let me untap. Okay, that's actually a pretty reasonable draw. So we'll play the True Heart Twins post-combat. Do we know what the red splash is for? I feel like we don't. So we'll play the Twins, we'll play the Plains, and we'll pass. Okay, we do have Forsake the Worldly, but unfortunately we're just going to need to rip it. Yeah, this is kind of an example of mulling to 5 just being too costly for us. Well, we did get the Forsake. That's pretty slick. Unfortunately, they still have the tap. I think, well, this is cool, actually. Okay. We're getting to the point where this Afflict is just going to kill us, though, aren't we? So, that's interesting. Let me think about this. So, So I think we move to combat. They're going to tap our Avenger, and then we forsake our compulsory rest. And then we get to get in for... We're not going to exert the twins, we will exert the Entangler. So this lets us get in for... Well, if I exerted both, it would be 6 plus 5, 11. But now it's just going to be 4, it's going to be 9. That's fine. 9, and I get to attack with my True Heart Twins next turn. Which I think, or, I mean, they're probably going to tap, I guess, but this is still a lot of damage. I maybe needed to not attack there. I'm not completely sure. So, okay. 6 mana. So if I play the Attendant, let's see, they're going to tap on my turn. Attendant makes better use of mana. I do die if I don't jump. Actually, I guess no, but they, okay. All right. This is fine. So if we play the wall, and they tap our twins, tap our wall, then we have to block with the Avenger to not die. But then they can't tap our True Heart Twins, and they would die the following turn to the attack. So I'm trying to think if I want to make better use of mana and just play the Attendant. I think that makes more sense. Because I can also double block the Supply Caravan. Okay. Makes better use of mana. I can use the Wall of Forgotten Pharaoh ability, but I think we're just going to let them tap our thing. And then we don't attack. Well, geez. I mean, it makes me want to, but we're not going to do it. Take them to 1. But then we just play the Attendant. Let's see, then they tap the twins and I have to block the Supply Caravan to not die. So I guess it does make more sense to play the wall. I guess they're just a removal spell away from killing us, though. We're also an Inferno Jet away from winning, which is interesting to note, but in order to do that, we're going to actually need to not die here. Okay. Okay. So, don't we just kill them? Because they don't do anything? That's odd. Prevent all damage. Combat damage. So it's actually not spell damage, okay. I mean, we're dead anyway, so we do attack with... That's everything here. Saving grace. So let's cycle Desert of the True, because we could get a fling. Okay, that actually does keep us alive. So, okay. Oh, I see. I needed to... Okay, this is still... Well, I guess we're not alive then. Okay. Alright. Maybe they tap our wall. Alright, it was a super close game. I actually think we easily would have won this match if we didn't have to mull to 5. Easily. I think our deck was significantly better than our opponents. But unfortunately we had to mull to 5, so we could not do it. But, alright, let's go to round 2, see how we do there.